Hi everyone, I am Diane Randall of Silver Creek Samplers, and what you are witnessing unfolding here is my pilot episode. Episode number 1, my Silver Creek Samplers Flosstube channel. I have been encouraged by many people to start a Flosstube, and in all honesty, I've been dragging my heels for several months now, but I figure it's like jumping in a pool. You just got to jump in first, and if the water's cold, you'll adjust as you go on. So bear with me, because this is my pilot episode and I have not rehearsed this. What you are seeing is raw footage. So if you do like this, be sure to click the subscribe button. Feel free to leave some comments in the comment section. And so we're going to get this underway here. So as I said, I'm Diane Randall of Silver Creek Samplers, and this is my little corner of paradise right here in the living room. As you can see, my computer is set up on an old Hoosier cabinet that actually came from my grandpa's house. So this is where a lot of the happiness begins. It's also where a lot of stress begins, but we're not going there today. The first thing I'd like to share with you today is my newest release called American Dream. This has been shipped to needlework shops already, and if they don't have it, be sure to go in and request a copy for yourself. This was stitched on Fiber on a Whim 18 count Oatmeal Aida. It's 18 count is one of my favorite counts to stitch on, even though one of my model stitchers breaks out in hives when I send her a model to stitch on. That's you, Lori. So this is my newest release, as I said, American Dream, stitched on Fiber on a Whim 18 count Oatmeal. It was a fun stitch, which I know I say about every single one that I stitch, but there's lots of room for personalization in here, and I encourage you to choose colors of your own liking to personalize it and reflect your personality in there as well. I'm sure many of you are aware, I attended Nashville Needlework Market back at the beginning of March, and it's always a whirlwind of activity from the time we pull into the parking lot until the time we pull out of the parking lot to come home. You just never know what is going to happen. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know what kind of fun goodies you're going to come home with, and that's a lot of the excitement from Market. And while I was in my suite at Market, I had another company, a floss company, come into my room with this very large clear plastic bag of flosses that she just wanted to gift to me. Now, that was painful for me because I was at Market to work and sell my patterns and help shops as they came in, but I just wanted to drop everything and thread. I just wanted to drop everything and spread all of the floss out so I could look at all these amazing colors. Now, these were the flosses that were in the plastic bag they were gifted to me from a company called Forbidden Fiber, and they are from Brighton, Tennessee. They actually were a new company to me. I had never heard of them before, and I was quite taken with all of the. Now, this is just a sampling of some of them. They do actually have more colors available in their line. So these came home with me, and they've been sitting out on the dining room table. They've been bonding. We've been forming a relationship together. And I decided quite recently that I wanted to use these flosses in another new design. So that is one that I'm not going to share with you because it's going to be released at Marketplace, the wholesale virtual show that is taking place this fall. And I don't want to give away all the goodness already, but I will be using some of these colors in this new release. The flosses, again, are from Forbidden Fiber Floss. One of the beautiful things, and I know that Market was 2 months ago, but I just can't. It is just such an amazing experience. It's a lot of work. It's overwhelming. we come home exhausted, but it is so amazing to be in an atmosphere of so many of my designer colleagues, and the energy it's almost electric. Noteworthy Needle, I met Janice Note for the first time back in 2015 at a retreat that I vended at down in Myrtle Beach. And we got along very well. Felt like we had been friends, known each other for a long time. And I saw one of her new releases at market. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, I've got to get a copy of that. And this is from Noteworthy Needle, called Ode to the Stork. And it says, once a tool for the midwife, forever remains in stitching life. When I saw this, I knew I had to get it because I don't know how many of you have watched the show called The Midwife, but it is one of my absolute favorite TV dramas of all time. And I am embarrassed to admit the number of times I have watched the season and the series on Netflix. So I knew I had to have this. Now I have not quite I haven't had time to stitch it up yet, but I was able to go to her suite at market, and she was gracious enough to gift me with a copy of Ode to the Stork, which it also comes with a cute little charm that looks like stork scissors that you can embellish your stitching with. Again, I know I'm talking a lot about market, but I've been dragging my feet on doing this Flosstube. So I'm just kind of catching you up on some of the stitching goodies that came home from market with me. My first year at market was back in 2017. And I made it, or have made it, a tradition of sorts that I come home with a pair of new embroidery scissors if I have had a good market. And as many of you I'm sure are aware, that Dovo is no longer at market. They are no longer doing embroidery scissors here in the United States, which I don't know about you, but it makes me very sad. So I decided this year that I wanted to search out the suite that sells the Sajou French embroidery scissors. I thought that would be a special little treat. And so these are the beautiful embroidery scissors that came home. They just jumped into the truck and came home with me. They actually are imitation mother of pearl, and they have this, pretty little tassel that's on here. Now, in all honesty, I have not actually used these yet. I've just been, we've been bonding. We've been forming a relationship and getting to know each other before I actually put them into use. So this was just a fun little treat, and that's one of the amazing things, one of the many amazing things about going to market is you get to see things that if you don't have a local needlework shop, such as myself, you get to see these things that you would not get a chance to see, and it's overwhelming. One of the other goodies, one of the probably best finds that I discovered in Nashville is a company called ViviLux. Now, when we go to market, in our welcome packet, we are given a show book which lists all of the exhibitors and has a little blurb about each exhibitor and tells what room they're in. Now, as an exhibitor myself, I don't have a lot of time usually to get around to every single suite. Fortunately, I had someone who was willing to watch my suite for a little bit on Sunday when the buying hours were a little bit slower, and I was able to, to be honest, I felt like I was a contestant on The Price is Right, because I was just like running floor to floor to floor, up the steps, avoiding the elevators because that took too long so that I could hit up there were certain suites that I wanted to talk to these individuals. And ViviLux was one of them. What is ViviLux, you ask, if you haven't heard? They are makers of these wonderful little magnifiers. And I don't know about you, but my eyes are very grateful that I am able to have a magnifier to make my stitching even bigger. It makes me relax more. I don't feel like it's a struggle to count the stitches. And even then, even with a magnifier, I still end up miscounting at times. But one of the beautiful things, the awesome things, one of the many things about this magnifier, first of all, is the fact that you can either attach it to the gooseneck. It has a gooseneck, which is very, very easy to adjust, but yet it stays put. So you're not going to have a droopy magnifier. But you can also attach it in the horizontal format, or they also have it so you could attach it in a vertical format as well. And I have heard that they are also going to be having a longer gooseneck option available, which, depending on what kind of if you stitch on a frame or in a larger Q-snap or what have you, having a larger gooseneck is very beneficial. But it has this really strong, but not too strong, clamp. And I just knew that I had to go down and see this, because the magnifier that I used to use, they are no longer making the 18-inch gooseneck magnifier. And mine has been in use for a number of years, and I didn't know how I was going to replace it. And when I went down and I saw this in the ViviLux suite at Market, I actually said to them, would it be okay if I brought my stitching frame, because I took my stitching frame with me to Market, would it be okay if I brought the frame down here so I could actually clamp that on and see kind of how it feels and how I think it's going to work? And they were very accommodating. They didn't have a problem with that. And so there I sat in their suite to kind of test drive this wonderful little magnifier. And I was sold. I knew it had to come home with me. Now, for those of you who may stitch with a hoop, or even, and you hold a Q-snap perhaps, like I said, it's very, very lightweight. So it's not going to be super heavy. It's not going to add extra weight and stress out your hand even more as you're holding the hoop or the Q-snap. So this was one of my fabulous finds from Market. I'm very pleased with it. And also from ViviLux is this handy dandy little clip-on light. And this too has a flexible gooseneck, so you can adjust it however you want. It is also very lightweight. You can dim it as well, which is kind of a cool feature. But I think one of the coolest features is the fact that it comes with a charging cable. So you don't have to worry about batteries. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, what if my cord, I go to a retreat, or where I stitch at home, there's not an outlet that's nearby. How am I going to power this little light? It's just rechargeable, which I think is super fabulous. And as you can see, the light that it lets off is really amazing. For such a tiny little light, it packs a lot of punch. So this is also by ViviLux. So that was basically all my Market haul, and I apologize that it's been so long, but as an artist, I just kind of have to really get myself psyched up to do stuff like this. And I kept talking myself out of doing a Flosstube. And then basically I was cornered. I was cornered by a few people, Mr. Silver Creek Samplers, that it would just be a fun idea. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you for this pilot episode of Silver Creek Samplers. And again, if you like this video, I'm sure that I will become a little more fluid and a little more smooth at my delivery as time goes on. But be sure to click the subscribe button and leave me some comments. If there are things that you would like me to talk about, or you are curious about, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I can always consider them for a future episode. So until then, this is the end of the pilot episode, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.